The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
You're GD right, it's Fan Control.
I love that intro. It's like the future of sports is here.
So I'm going to toot my own horn here. First of all, welcome everybody to Back to Work. It's a Monday, our first ever episode. I'm Josh Macuga.
I'm Leighton Batiste.
People call him Fan Controlled Lay on Twitter and Instagram. Wait, do you even have a Twitter? I keep trying to tag you on Twitter.
No.
He doesn't have a Twitter. But so we were writing the Emmy essays for last year, which, brush some shoulders off. We got nominated for an Emmy. And we were like ending the essay. And I was in a car on the way to Temecula to meet. We were having like an offsite for the content team. And they were like, how should we end the essay? And I was like, the future of sports is here. And it's been controlled. And they were like, that's pretty good. I was like, that is gold.
Yeah, like, come on, give me my credit.
I deserve a Pulitzer for that one. Yeah. Oh, man. This is Back to Work. We're going to be here every single Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta-based Leighton Batiste. I'm in California. This is the show. We're going to talk about sports, entertainment, fan-controlled sports, and really anything that you guys want to talk about on the program. We will bring to you. Leighton, we got to get a graphic of you in this banner because it can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what action should it be, like one of these things, or like should I do like a Top Gun with the shades? Like,
yeah,
really
right.
Style. I'm just trying to be relevant, but.
And we are going to talk about Top Gun Maverick later in the show. We're going to get into the Oscar stuff, but right off the bat, Leighton, tell everybody what you're doing tomorrow.
Oh, all right. Look, if you are a college basketball fan, I need you to pay attention. I'm going live from the official Instagram of Fan Control Sports, and I'm going to have you all build my bracket. So again, everything at Fan Control Sports is driven by the fans. So I need you all to tune in. 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 1:30 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. No, Jeff, we're not giving anybody mountain time. So make sure y'all tune in. You are going to build my bracket. And please don't screw me over. But you're going to build my bracket.
So I had an idea. And first subject of the day, we'll talk. Yesterday, everything in sports was revolving around college basketball. And so listen, college basketball for me is very hot and cold because I'm older than you, Leighton. And I remember when college basketball guys played like 2 and 3 years in college.
You can follow the story.
Yes. I got so involved with like Bobby Hurley and Christian Leitner. Right. Yeah. And I got so involved with guys like, guys that played for those North Carolina teams, guys, that Michigan team with Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, the Fab Five team, I had a Michigan like outfit. And I currently only wear black socks because those dudes wore black socks.
Wait. You had a Michigan outfit?
Yeah, like the full fit. The full Michigan fit. Because
this is pre-Penn State?
Pre-Penn State.
Okay, all right.
Well before Penn State.
Okay.
Once I got but here's the thing at Penn State, which is, hey, we made the tournament. We played in the Big Ten championship game yesterday. Almost had a chance to beat Purdue. Great game. Yeah. I didn't go to a lot of Penn State basketball games at all. I didn't.
Really?
Kerry Thompson popping in. Nah, Coog. Yeah, it was a sick fit, Kerry. I look good.
Well, he's feeling good right now because Texas won the Big 12 yesterday.
Yeah. And Penn State plays Texas A&M first round.
Ooh.
But Penn State football is everything. And Penn State basketball is there.
Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of there.
Like, so is it like football, then Penn State hockey? Is that like the order?
It's really Penn State football, then probably Penn State wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Because we are really good at wrestling. Pennsylvania has,
okay.
and our coach is an absolute stud, and the talent's fantastic. But so we had with college basketball for me, I want to talk to guys. I was talking to my buddy who's a diehard UConn fan, Lay, and I was like, should I pick UConn to go far? He's like, don't do it. They're a paper franchise. And all these guys at ESPN yesterday were picking them to go to the Final Four. No. And what I think tomorrow for you on the bracket challenge is you need some of these diehard fans like me who choose negativity in sports all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't want. I actually was playing around with one of the brackets. I actually have Iona knocking out UConn in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
Will
the fans agree with you? Harry Dog in the chat says hi. Hi, Harry Dog.
Hey, Jose Ruckus in the chat says he's only paying for the women's. Look, I know South Carolina beat them, but I think I'm gonna ride with LSU in the women's tournament. I gotta do it. So we're gonna see how far they go. But I mean, South Carolina is a real threat. So
I want new talent on the cover of Slam.
I know. I need that cover.
Yes.
Yeah, I need that. That was hard. That was really hard. So
yeah. I see. On the flip side, for the women's game, which I love, is there are clear effing favorites.
Yes.
Right. And if they don't win, it's a shocking thing. Whereas in the men's game now, because everything is one and done, you don't have that Duke. You don't have that 3-year Duke run, that UNLV run where these guys, they were the clear best team in the country. Mm-hmm. And because of the one and dones and NILs and transfer portals, you just don't have that same thing.
Does it create parity in a way that at what point is the NCAA going to market any year is your year? You know, that kind of thing. I mean, it could add to a little bit of parity, makes people feel like a big deal. I mean, Kennesaw State here in Georgia's in, and I saw
Kennesaw State. Is Kennesaw State HBCU?
No, they're definitely a public school. Yeah.
No. Okay.
No. The interesting thing about Kennesaw State, they're north of the city.
Okay.
And I got a chance to see them because they were really good in football. They made it like a game away from the national championship a couple years back.
Is that where Slade the Blade played?
No, he played at Fort Valley State.
That's
an HBCU.
Okay, got it.
But they came down to Georgia State and almost beat Georgia State. It was a really big thing. Like, I kind of want that back. We don't get a lot of big football in Atlanta because Georgia State's bad.
Yeah.
It's just so bad.
Georgia Tech won a national championship in the 90s.
Yeah, they should have had outright, but screw Colorado.
Yeah, I know. For the women, I'm a big fan of favorites, and I'm a big fan of underdogs, right?
Yeah.
So the parity nature, which is what I love about the NFL and what I hate about baseball. But when it comes to like college and things of that nature, I kind of want the powerhouses to get taken down, you know?
No, like it's fun. Like now, even as an LSU fan, I'm amped. Like, okay, Georgia, that's the target. Like that's because for so long it was Alabama, right?
Yes.
And so now it's like, okay, it's Georgia. Like it's fun knowing who is the team to beat. Even in the NFL now, I'm looking at the Chiefs the same way we've been looking at the Patriots now. Like, okay, they're the team to beat. So I agree with you there. That's what I want. I want a dynasty.
Yeah. Which is what and we'll have my 2 minutes of golf later in the show, Leighton. Tomorrow Leighton will be doing a fan controlled bracket for all the fans. And you join him live on Instagram. You are going to pick his bracket, and then what you're going to submit it to like an ESPN and a Yahoo.
Yeah, I'll put it into both, and definitely screenshot. We'll put it out. People can let me know if it was a good pick or bad pick. I also want fans to submit there. So any fans in the Discord, build your brackets tonight. Start putting them in the Discord or post them on Twitter and tag us. We will repost them. And maybe we could do something where we track a fan's bracket up and throughout March Madness.
And we can put all of the fan brackets, put your thing into ESPN or Yahoo, put it into the generator, and we'll see where the fan bracket and then the other fan brackets go against like the official bracket. You know,
that'd be really cool if one of our fans ends up winning the bracket, though.
That would be.
They came from the fan-controlled family, like
family.
Okay,
yeah, you get it. Ray, the one and only Ray Jordan in the chat. She changed her name from Authentically You.
Yeah, I don't know why. She should authentically switch it back.
No, I like Ray Jordan. Kennesaw is not Atlanta. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a drive.
BC Lion in the chat. Good to see you, BC. St. Patrick's Day nears up the D's on March 17th. Yeah. Is March 17th on Thursday? Is St. Pat or is that Friday? Today's what? The 13th?
I think that's Friday. Friday.
I'm looking at my.
You want to know how I know it's
Yes.
Friday?
Why?
Because I'm an Atlanta Hawks season ticket holder, and they're being inconvenient and giving me till Wednesday to renew for next season.
That's it?
Yeah, I have till Wednesday to let them know if I'm renewing for next season.
Terrible. The ticket 412 in chat asks, can one play FCF and FCH? Yes.
Yes,
you most definitely can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the Bo Jackson effect.
Of course, which we need more of.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's talk. Before the show started, apparently today decided to be the biggest free agent NFL day of all time. Because Adam Schefter was just going insane on Twitter. First, you have Jimmy G going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Austin Eckler says he wants a trade because contract negotiations, shocker, aren't going well with the Chargers. The Chargers not exactly known for anything.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, no, they're known for the really cool, like midnight blue LaDainian Tomlinson uniforms.
And that's about it. And losing in the playoffs.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers, nice trash talk. Yeah.
I want to see, and Austin Eckler, an owner in fan controlled football, I would love to see Austin Eckler, 1, win a Super Bowl, and 2, win it with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like him and Najee Harris in the same backfield.
I would hate y'all.
Mm-hmm. Super
I've seen Najee Harris live.
We
As
were
a Steeler. Ridiculous.
Yes. And he was at a FCF game, remember?
Yes. Yeah. I saw him and I saw him physically in person.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
I'm coming around the corner. Around the corner, Lay, and I see him. I'm like, Najee. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, wait, we don't know each other. My bad. I'm from Pittsburgh. And he's like, oh, my dude. And I was like, yes.
By the way, he's like really nice.
Super nice.
I don't know why I expect somebody like he seems like the kind of running back that just destroys everybody. So I think he's just like super mean. Really nice guy.
Yeah. Kerry Thompson, go to Philly. I do not want Austin Eckler in Philadelphia. Okay.
No.
They've got enough already.
Yeah.
Then Mike White, Leighton says sayonara. Was that sayonara to the Jets and goes to the Dolphins for $12 million for 2 years.
Yeah, so the AFC East is kind of being jerks to each other. So, and that's what my question is Bill Belichick the next one to get traded? Like, is that what we're doing in this division? Just next we're going to trade coaches? Because
and then you got Javon Hargrave, a former Steeler. He goes to the Niners for $84 million, $40 million guaranteed. And then Jawan Taylor leaves the Jags and goes to the Chiefs. This all happened in like the last hour.
No, but then the 49ers just picked up
Javon
Hargrave. Yeah.
Former Steeler. So I think of all of these, if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm like, Jimmy G is basically Derek Carr.
No, I was like, they made a lateral move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's, do you pay Derek Carr price or do you get another Derek Carr for Jimmy G price?
Yes.
And that's what they did.
Okay.
Smart move.
And Devontae Adams is like, come on, guys.
Yeah, like help.
Yeah.
Next we're going to see he's going to the Jets and then hopefully get Aaron Rodgers to the Jets.
Don't we think that Devontae Adams should be recruiting Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders?
Yes, it's telling about their relationship then for him to not call him out to the Raiders right now.
Right.
It's a lot of silence coming from him. My biggest thing,
darkness. Leighton, darkness. See what I did there?
Yeah, punny. I'm actually a big Aaron Rodgers to the Jets thing, and it's only because I want them to build the new stadium, and it's cool. Like, I feel bad for the Jets. I really do. I feel like they deserve more in New York. You know, they want to build a new stadium in New York. I'm not a Giants fan. No, they don't deserve anything. I shouldn't feel good for them. They're like the LA Clippers of the NFL. Like,
yes, they definitely are.
That's why I feel bad for them. Like, I'm really excited the Clippers are getting their own stadium. I was actually a fan of moving them to Vegas.
Okay.
I don't like teams being in the shadow of other teams.
Okay. Listen, I think 2 teams in one city is silly. That's why the Chargers should have always stayed in San Diego, and they will never be the LA Chargers to me.
No.
Authentically You, Rachel has changed her name back. Oh, she's now on Twitch as Authentically You, and she says, I want to see Josh in a Falcons jersey.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll get to
listen.
a Falcons jersey.
Guess who wore a Falcons jersey in a movie, Leighton?
Who? You?
Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys 2. I'll always, if they rep it in Bad Boys 2, I'll rep it in person.
Okay. That's valid.
Speaking of movies, the Oscars were last night, Leighton.
So awkward. Very awkward. I don't like speeches. Like, I don't like emotional
I've heard
speeches.
this about you. Tell the people.
Yeah, since I was a kid, I've always been against emotional speeches or like cringy, very romantic moments in shows. So, you get those weird, cringy, like Disney type moments.
Yeah.
Change the channel. So last night we get a speech and he's crying and I changed the channel.
Set the tone. Ke Huy Quan wins the best supporting actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once, a movie that I've tried to watch 5 times. And then I put as my I don't know what you call, like, is it your away message on Instagram? I just put nowhere, never, nowhere, not anytime.
Oh, you're like location thing?
Yeah. No, like your little plus sign up there is like your tell everybody what you're thinking.
Oh, yeah, like the message that's up there in the you're creative. You're funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But listen, shout out. Listen, Ke Huy Quan was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Then he was Data and Goonies. And then what was the third one that he, like, what am I missing? Data, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
And I'm searching now.
But then he doesn't have a working acting credit from 2002 to 2021. And he's in
it's like the greatest comeback story of all time.
Maybe ever.
So I should have been more sympathetic.
Well, I mean, men crying on things is tough. I get that. Like,
he was in everything.
Yeah, that's what he won. He won it for, right? But before that, he was Short Round. You call him Dr. Jones in Temple of Doom, the most underrated of the Indiana Jones franchise, in my opinion. And he wins a friggin' Oscar.
Yeah.
I might cry too. If I didn't work in something that I dreamed of working in for 20 years, then all of a sudden they're like, you're the best at it. I'm like, oh, what? I would cry too.
Okay, wait, isn't your dream to like be the host of Jeopardy? So would you cry on your first episode of Jeopardy?
At the end, yeah. I wouldn't cry asking the questions.
That would be really hard to watch you cry and you hear the outro music at the same time.
I want to cry. I'm like supposed to shake the hands of the contestant. I'm just sobbing. Yeah. Johnny Gilbert. The funnier speech though was, and this is wrong, but Brendan Fraser getting up there out of breath.
You're terrible for this.
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand he's excited. He like whatever, but like take a moment because you looked frazzled. He looked absolutely frazzled. Freddie Amell said it best. Encino Man. Yeah. Encino Man won an Oscar. Okay. But Encino Man had a better career overall than Ke Huy Quan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser to this day as Tarzan makes women lose their pants. Like that is.
Yeah. Tell me about it because I don't have
Brendan Fraser, Encino Man, Mummy Returns, School Ties. I mean, the guy had incredible movies to his credit and then disappeared. I think Hollywood like kicked him out. It's a very strange story.
Hollywood?
No, he just like he wasn't booking work anymore. But if you tell me the Mummy movies aren't good, you're lying. They're great movies.
That's why they aren't they a trilogy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then they basically started The Rock's career as the Scorpion King.
Yeah, which was actually a really good spinoff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that actually.
And then Ruthless Cutie says it best, then came back all weird. Yeah, he was no longer the matinee idol when he came back at all.
I kind of lump Brendan Fraser in like the same class of actors as like the Vince Vaughns and Ben Stillers. Like I feel like they were all in this same era.
Okay.
The movies when they came out. Yes. So whenever I don't know what you call that era of movie. It's like the late 90s, early 2000s kind of comedies. Like they all kind of had the same character in a way. Yes. Kind of average guy comedies, which I still don't think we've had any kind of era of movies that have redone the Dodgeballs and the Meet the Fockers and the Zoolanders, all of that. Like, but I clump him in that era of actors.
But I mean, Brendan, it's just strange. Like he was always in a movie like twice a year. Nancy McNally, Encino Man had Brendan Fraser and Ke Huy Quan. Boom. Westy1193. That's Sean Evans. I am not Sean Evans. I'm not Sean Evans.
I just Googled it.
The Hot Ones guy. Yeah. I got some stories about Sean Evans. Okay. I'm not going to bring him up on the show.
No, okay.
But
Little resemblance.
Oscars aside, the real thing that happened last night, Leighton,
Okay.
was HBO's next effing franchise put it on. I didn't know that I was going to love this show that much. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking. Yeah. Okay. So what are your thoughts?
The Last of Us. The founder, one of the founders of this league, has been preaching this show before it came out to me, this video game, everything about it. And he lives for this show.
Okay.
He texts me like Magna Carta opuses about this show. And when we talked about bringing him on,
is he the one that like goes super in depth on like the wiki spaces of the show?
Oh,
He
my
posts
God.
like the IMDb and the Twitter threads, might slip in his comments here or there, and then
I'm pretty
mess
sure
around.
he
He has, like, a
owns
whole
the
YouTube.
subreddit. I think he owns the subreddit. The Last
I
of
wouldn't be
Us subreddit.
surprised if he does.
Okay.
I think I know
Ladies-
who this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Patrick Dees.
Pew, pew.
What is up, gentlemen? Actually, I want you to know the website is thelastofus.cool. Go there for the latest tips and tricks about how to play the game and watch the show. Good snacks to ingest. I don't know. I really wanted to talk with you guys about the show, but then you still have not gotten through everything everywhere all at once, Josh. Yeah. And I logged out, truthfully. James, our producer, called me. He's like, get back on that show. Come on, just finish it. We started. I was like, it's not worth it.
As soon as Hot Dog Fingers started in that one, I can't do this. Yeah.
Incredible. And by the way, I am also rocking Black Socks at the moment. The Fab Five was a huge influence on everybody in our generation.
I'm telling you right now, they are the most influential basketball team of all time. And it's not close.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you both, who's your favorite member of the Fab Five? This is important. And there's a right answer to this.
Mine is 100% Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Webber too, Leighton?
Yes, of course.
I think I would have been Jalen Rose, the king of smack. But for a long time, I always said if I ever saw Chris Webber in real life, I was going to run and call a timeout.
Oh,
until I was like much later, I was like 15, 16 years old, and he was on some show, and he's like, the worst part about it is everywhere I go in public, somebody calls a timeout. And I felt like, A, so unoriginal, and B, really mean. And I was like, all right, I'm just a rotten human being.
Imagine
you're fired.
Oh, Kerry Thompson says Jalen Rose. I think, listen, there's
100%.
Juwan Howard, there's Jalen Rose, Chris Webber was it. And Chris Webber.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Webber has had like 3 careers, right? Mm-hmm. College basketball star.
Yep.
Super underrated NBA player on okay teams that he made way better. And probably the best player to analyst in NBA history.
Yeah. Totally agree.
He's so good. But Deez, we brought you on here to talk about The Last of Us.
Yes. Okay? Yes. Did you guys? Okay, so I actually realized I agreed to do this. I agreed to. All right, let's some revisionist history. I begged Josh to be on the show to talk a little bit about Last of Us.
Please let me talk.
But I want to know, like, what? So I honestly don't know. Are we talking about spoilers? I feel like that's not necessarily appropriate. The finale just hit. Leighton, what's your experience with this show?
I think it's worth going with spoilers. I'll be transparent. I didn't get a chance to watch the finale.
Okay.
But spoil it for me. It's okay.
I can't.
Okay.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You can spoil it.
Let's do non-spoiler review in a sense of.
I think that's right.
Don't give away the exacts.
No.
I'd say like give the feeling.
Will I cry?
Yes, you might. I don't know. I did sort of.
Look, man, I played the video game. The original video game came out 10 years ago. And I talk to Josh about this all the time. Joel and Ellie, the 2 main characters, I relate to them like they're real people. If like it's a long lost friend, you haven't I wonder how Leighton's doing. I haven't talked to him. I wonder how he's like they're real people. I kind of wonder how they are. And so I've been excited about this adaptation for a long time because video game adaptations are notoriously dumpster fires. They're always terrible. But when I heard it was Neil Druckmann who wrote the game, and Craig Mazin who did the Chernobyl miniseries, again, also not necessarily a good hang, not exactly an upper, but that same dour, brilliant kind of tone. I was very excited about this, and I think they stuck the landing. I think it, without question, is the single greatest video game adaptation of all time. I think every bit of adaptation was smart. It was additive. I think it's just an incredible ride. I knew what was coming. I still got choked up, Leighton. You will cry. It is it's the trolley problem. If one track you have a single person,
Yeah.
and on the other track you have all of humanity. And what are the, what are the, is that the price we pay for loving someone? Does that trump morality at certain points? And it was a wild ride. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, for me, okay, so I've never played the video game, and
me neither.
Amanda was saying to me, she's like, so wait, like in the video game, they just like hang around and talk to each other? I was like, no, I don't think so. Let me talk to Deez. Because I think the hardest part with video game adaptations is that level of I can't play this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so to make a TV show out of it, you have to create this story and the actor's story that isn't just like shooting zombies the whole time.
That's right.
Shooting the infected the whole time. Because that's a majority of the game. It's just like killing these infected to get to where you need to go, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So
now that being said, it is a highly cinematic game, right? Like, I mean, it feels like you're watching a movie, but to your point, orders of magnitude more infected in the game, right? Like, I mean, there's probably, I think the last 3 or 4 episodes, we didn't even really see an infected. It is because this The Last of Us is about, and even you think about the title, about how it's The Last of Us, like as individuals, and it's The Last of Us being our humanity, and you're giving that over during an apocalypse. But it's not about the infected at all. It's about what happens when systems fail, and what are you reduced to as humanity. And I think, anyway, but yeah, to your point, Josh, it's a lot of shooting infected in the video game.
Yeah.
Josh, I don't know if you've done this, but every scene, I'll like go on YouTube and find the video game equivalent to compare. You should do it.
Okay.
But I mean, it's crazy. It's almost 1-to-1, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
But
it's
they
like
do
perfect.
It really, I mean, and again, they don't mess with what's not broken. I was really concerned that they'd have that auteur the deal where they try and reinvent all these scenes that were pitch perfect. I think one of the things I think was interesting that the show was able to do that they couldn't do in the game was because you're playing as Joel and Ellie, that view is always locked to them the entire time. Whereas this finale, and again, won't wreck anything for people who haven't seen it, but it opens up with Ellie's birth, which is something that you couldn't have done in the video game. Even if they had a really smart way to introduce it, you can't leave their perspective. So again, all of these things were really additive and really contributed to, how you related to the characters at the end. I think they stuck the landing. It was incredible.
For me, and my wife is, and Patrick and I have talked about this many times, is like, my wife and I rarely like the same show together. Like she'll watch things, and then when we come together for a show, it's really nice. But all of the time, we know what shows we don't like. Like, we'll start a show and be like, "This sucks." All right, next, right? So for The Last of Us, she doesn't like scary stuff or zombies and stuff. But I think because there wasn't a ton of it, and she got so invested in Joel, and she is a Pedro Pascal like fan club member. She lives for the guy, right? Yeah, he's such a organic human in everything he does, from Narcos to even his role in Game of Thrones,
massive talent
to him. Yes, thank you. The Nicolas Cage movie that's gone viral. Everything about Pedro Pascal, like, it is just you can't turn away, right? And he's the kind of actor that started and has had ups and downs, and on his up has not changed one bit. And everything that he does, you want to watch, right?
But national treasure Pedro Pascal. Sorry to interrupt, but again, you go from somebody who's universally beloved is having a moment, was on SNL, like he's in the Mandalorian, he's in everybody's loving him as Joel, and I tweeted that out right before the episode, because in that final episode, Joel makes some decisions that are pretty divisive. Yeah. Right. And I was really wondering how America would feel about their sweetheart Pedro Pascal after he made the decisions that he made in the finale. So it's been wild to see the discourse today. The
end scene, Deez, and I'm not. There's no spoilers here, but the last scene of no spoilers. Jose Ruckus said it best. Buffy the Vampire Slayer star. Did you hear about that cool thing? Sarah Michelle Gellar tweeted out the video of them acting, and Pedro Pascal got
totally different,
excited about it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, totally different.
Oh, that's great.
And he's like, did you hear Sarah? He was like on the red carpet for the Oscars. Like, did you hear Sarah Michelle Gellar tweeted out about me? And
amazing.
Again, he's so excited, right?
Yeah.
So, but the last scene, I told Amanda, my wife, that when he is talking to Bella as they're walking, and I was like, it's sort of when you get in trouble as a kid. and you want to change the subject with your parents and you want them to like you again,
lay it on real thick.
But you lay it on so thick. That was that last scene, and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh, this the next seasons are going to be really hard. Like this is, yeah.
But no, but like, do you remember what we before this season even started? And I was like, I mean, one of my favorite things is talk to Jeff and Josh about television, and I was like begging you to go down this road with me, and you're like, well, what is it a little bit about? And it is 9 episodes in service of the last 60 seconds. Yeah. Like all of it, all of the runway builds out to one moment to give context to one moment and how you live with certain things. And I was like, and if they don't stick that at the end, it really lessens the impact of the rest of your time you spent with it. And I just think they crushed. That's why, Leighton, most shows I would have no problem spoiling with you, but it is my favorite ending potentially of anything ever. No. And like it or, Neil Druckmann talks a lot about this ending. And he was asked if he was concerned that people would hate it. And he said, look, I hope they hate it. I hope they love it. I hope they feel something. The thing I don't want is indifference. And I think it's impossible to watch this ending and not really get spun up in one way or the other.
Leighton, you may not know this, but I know Deez does, is I've watched legitimately every episode of The Walking Dead. Okay. All 11 seasons.
It's dedication, man. Dedication, man.
Every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got scared at the Universal Studios Walking Dead. I was there with my colleague. We went in and I left her. I sprinted through the so that's my Walking Dead story.
I'm with you.
You don't have to outrun the zombies. You just have to outrun your coworkers.
Yeah.
You're like, sucker.
I don't like scary stuff, but for some reason there was something about The Walking Dead, and I thought it was going to go in a completely different direction, and it went in the direction that I didn't like, but I continued to watch it, and you realize something in all of those shows that there is no solution. There is no it's not like Independence Day when Randy Quaid's like, I'm going to go up into the space shuttle. It's a 2.5 hour movie and this is how it ends.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
but
people are still getting COVID.
I like shows like that because I feel like, I don't know if y'all watch House of Cards.
Yeah.
House of Cards did the same thing where it didn't give you a good or a bad side. It just showed you everybody was corrupt.
Yeah.
I kind of like that concept where it's like, there's no solution. Like there is no end really.
Yeah. And hey, the end of this episode of this season of The Last of Us had that feeling of the Sopranos finale because you don't know how to feel.
Yeah, it leaves you with more questions than answers, and I think that's healthy. I want that from narrative. I want to leave and start asking questions of myself and about our humanity and about love and loss and those types of things. So yeah, it's incredible. So if you haven't seen it, I'm here to sell you to go watch it. It's incredible. It's incredible.
We'll be doing a 7-hour episode, just these,
correct,
Nada and I on The Last of Us.
Yeah,
mostly a 2nd-by-2nd breakdown of the final 3 minutes of the show.
Can we do it while I watch the finale and get my real-time reactions to everything?
That's the second part of the we'll do another 6-hour breakdown of your reaction to the actual ending.
Then it just becomes a Bo Burnham bit.
It's the Zapruder film
of the breakdown.
Yes. Oh my God.
Patrick Deez, thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm glad that
loving the show.
All 3 of us were The Last of Us.
Yes,
we'd have a good time.
Thanks, guys.
Catch
you soon.
I think as soon as the show's over, you go and
I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna tune in.
Yeah, it's
because I'm looking on YouTube now, and I see reaction videos, and all I see is tears. I just see people crying.
You were talking about how people crying make you, especially men, it makes you feel awkward, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember the trend when the trailer when the trailer for Star Wars came out, not the reboot, but episode 6? Would that be right? The one with Daisy Ridley, the first, when it after all that time, what was it?
After the Revenge of the Sith?
Yes. So it would have been not the Phantom Menace, not those 3.
Yeah.
Right? Not the ones from the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm talking about this one, Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there was a trend going around that people were watching the trailer and crying. Okay. Because they were so excited about Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
To come back, right? And it was that first trailer and people losing their minds. Now, at that point, I was working in the movie and TV space. So all my friends were these diehard Star Wars fans. And my one buddy and his girlfriend posted a video of them crying watching the trailer, and I almost quit my job. I was like, guys, it is a fictional friggin' world, okay? There are more things. Don't cry.
But I understand the fandom of fictional worlds. I'll let you, because like I'm going through that with the Harry Potter world right now. I feel like if you don't do this, everybody wants to be Slytherin or Gryffindor. Then you finally take the test and like you're in neither house. Yeah. So you like indulge yourself in all this content. I was up at 3 a.m. watching a video on why HufflePuff is actually the best house. Like, I get it. I totally get it. Like you indulge.
Listen, I cry in movies and stuff all of the time. Okay.
Yeah, I cried at Creed 3.
Yeah. Listen, there are powerful moments in movies that evoke crazy emotions in you. You win an Oscar, you can cry. Cry at the end of Field of Dreams. Cry whenever you want. Okay, I'm not saying again, but you as a man and a woman crying just during the trailer of a Star Wars movie, and it wasn't Leighton. It wasn't like Luke Skywalker appears and he like got one arm and like he's dying. It was literally just her like rappelling down an old starship. They just start crying.
I get it. It had been a minute.
All right. I
get it.
Thanks for taking the other side on this one, Leighton.
I'm trying.
All right, let's cleanse our palate with a little more sports talk before we get out of here. This is an hour show. This is Back to Work. Leighton Batiste, Josh Macuga, here every Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again for Patrick Dees for joining us. Again, you can follow all of us, all the fan-controlled sports action across all social medias. Leighton runs it. He's the one that runs all social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those places. Fan-controlled sports and entertainment at fan-controlled. I believe our Instagram handle is changing to at fan-controlled at some point.
We're working on it. Not MySpace, Freddie Airmail. My God. It's interesting that like now people are finding out like, oh yeah, I run social, because the last time I put myself out there was when the Glacier Boys fans were trying to like get me canceled.
Oh, nice. What'd you do?
Okay, funny story. So Andrew Jamil didn't want one of the quarterbacks as the Glacier Boys quarterback. Izzy. He didn't want Izzy. We'll put the story out there. And so he asked me, can you please go into the fan Discord and let them know that Andrew Jamil doesn't want Izzy as the quarterback. They wanted a QB Stu.
Yeah.
And I put it in there and they just got up mad at me. They're like, who are you? You're not a real person. Andrew had time to let us know, but this is fan-controlled football. So I applaud them for sticking to the rules.
Passion.
They said, look, if we don't draft Izzy, we're going to start #FLay on Twitter. I kind of wanted it to happen, though. I would have gone viral.
It's Jay Spacey says, hey, Olive, we didn't want you to get canceled.
Cap. Him specifically. Actually, it really wasn't. It was somebody else. I think the person who left did like this whole promo video on Instagram of how they're no longer a Glacier Boys fan. But of all the teams that he chose, I think he chose Aoki as his new team.
Huh. Well, that Mitch kid, he's got a heck of a smile. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You're going to let me talk golf once a week for a minute or to 90 seconds. Okay. Here we go. This is Leighton. By the end of our friendship, when we're old and gray, you're going to be playing golf. Okay. That's my goal. You're going to be a consistent golfer playing golf.
Go ahead.
Here we go. Players Championship this weekend, the 5th major, as they call it. As you can see down there, Rory McIlroy did not make the cut, had a rough week, a very un-Rory-like thing. But Scotty Scheffler, Texas, could be the future of golf. We are in a golf renaissance right now, okay? A golf renaissance, something that we have been begging for. The tour is making all kinds of crazy moves, okay? We are in a golf renaissance. The top 3, the top 6, the top 10 players in the world all have personality, are all amazing. And guys like Scotty Scheffler, Jon Rahm, Max Homa, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, all these guys are always fighting at the top of the leaderboard. We're going into the Masters, the PGA, the US Open. This could be one of the greatest summers of golf of all time. And we also have a competing tour with villains. Villains will be allowed to play in the majors. Leighton wants a story. Star Wars people want a story. Tours want a story. You want villains? You want Slytherins, Leighton? I'll give you Slytherins. I'll give you the Live Tour. I'll give you Slytherin. Boom. There you go. And that's how I end. I speak postal.
You know what? Slytherin was actually really good.
Snake.
That was good.
Thank you.
Flip-
I thought my better one was when Liv signed with the CW. I said they should have a Riverdale crossover and call it Liverdale.
Yeah, I could have kept that one in the back pocket.
Damn it. Jay Spacely said, Lay's the GOAT, but we may or may not have fumbled that choice.
One day we will analyze some of the decisions.
Yes. That's actually on this show each week. Let's pick a fan decision, or maybe every other week, that we think was the wrong one. We will start next week with QB Stu getting passed over.
Yeah.
And then
that was actually that was pivotal. I think that decision, this is just my preview. I think that decision affected the Glacier Boys for the entire season.
That one decision. Boom.
One decision.
All right. Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey going to the Dolphins.
This is an interesting topic to me. Like we were talking, before the show, last year he was the second highest rated cornerback in the league. That's by PFF. And then this past season, he finished 9th.
Wait, real quick. Freddie Airmail said that might be a good segment to have me on for. Agreed. Freddie Airmail is the stat king. Let's get Freddie Airmail for his, what happened? What if with Freddie Airmail kind of a thing.
I like that one.
Okay.
We need to come up with a funny name that
yes.
Yeah. Stat package or I don't know. Whatever. I tried. Sorry, Freddie. Jalen's he's back in Florida. So he's back in South Florida.
Yeah.
And he's playing for the Dolphins now. But I think the question that you had was, does this mean he's bad now? Is he getting old?
See, here's the thing. I think that Jalen Ramsey, first of all, he played on an awful LA Rams team last year. They were trash. Yeah. Year before, they were fantastic. Obviously won a Super Bowl. That Super Bowl hangover was real for the Rams. Ramsey going to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are already pretty close to they're a playoff championship-ish team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team yet because I don't trust Tua.
What do you mean playoff championship team? Like
they could make it to an AFC championship game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what I mean? Like if they were to stay healthy with the weapons that they have, now adding Jalen Ramsey, Mike White going there, they obviously see something in Mike White. I just think that Tua is not dependable enough. He's obviously injury prone and not the kind of injuries that we want that are easy to come back from. Concussions are a thing they'll just end your career.
Yeah, they will. Overnight.
Just over.
Yeah.
So they've got to have some kind of hedge bet here for them. What would you say about Jalen Ramsey?
I actually like it. I don't think he's done. I think that you hit it on the nail that a lot of it had to do with the Rams and how bad of a team that they were. But I still think he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I think by the time he ends, if he's able to, that might be his only Super Bowl. I'll be honest. But if he messes around and helps the Dolphins get another Super Bowl, I think he should be in conversations of being potentially a Hall of Fame cornerback as well. At least just for this era of the NFL. I think the Dolphins are a team to look out for in the AFC East now. And that might put them up there. It could help them out with competing against the Bills. I don't know who the Jets are going to get at quarterback. The Jets are actually a really good team. They just need a better quarterback.
A quarterback, period.
Yeah, which I'm on the Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets train. That's what I want. But I like this for Jalen Ramsey. You're going to have Jalen Ramsey in Miami. You're going to have Tyreek Hill down in Miami as well. And one thing that they were talking about on the NFL Network that's going to be interesting is Miami is hot. So think about those OTAs, camp workouts, and it's hot, and you got to deal with Jalen Ramsey's mouth.
Yeah.
Might get some good content out of that.
Yeah.
I think they should do what is the show they do on HBO Max?
24/7.
No, the other one.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah, they should do a Hard Knocks on the Dolphins this year. I want that.
I would watch that one. I didn't really. I love the Hard Knocks. I don't like the season long.
No, the Cardinals one was boring, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't sympathize for Kyler Murray at all.
No,
at all. I was somewhere, found out Kyler Murray is getting paid like 40 something million. Thought he was getting overpaid.
That's what every time I see him run, I just think like he's hitting little like video game like.
Like if you're playing Madden, the person is doing this the whole time.
Yeah. But his feet hit like a xylophone, and they're like. That's my impression of Kyler Murray. For me, the Jalen Ramsey thing is like Joe Hayden when he came to the Steelers 5 or 6 years ago. All-pro corner, fantastic when he was. Got hurt here and there. Ended his career pretty much with the Steelers, not by his choice. But like we said before the show went live, being a cornerback, a defensive back in the NFL, excuse my language, is impossible.
No, it is.
It is so hard.
Yeah, it is. The game's no longer in the favor of the defense. And I think because of that, you're going to start seeing a shift in how much teams pay for defensive edge rushers and nose. Because unless you could get to the quarterback, your entire backfield is screwed just because of how fast these receivers are. Now everyone's finally adopting the concept of a dual threat quarterback. It just is not in the favor of playing defense at all anymore in the NFL.
And there you go. All right, we have a few things to get to. This show is an hour every week, and we have we are well behind. Holy moly, do we have some tough to get. Okay, here we go. Let's talk quickly about that Tyreek Hill track win this weekend. Jim, pull up the video of Tyreek Hill. Yeah, the funniest thing that I saw on Twitter was, and I was thinking the same thing, does Tyreek Hill compete in track a lot, right? Is this? Mm-mm. No, right? So imagine you are a track runner.
I'm pissed.
And you training all of the time. You go to all of these meets, and Tyreek Hill shows up and does this
for the first time on a track in 9 years.
9 years. These guys are standing still.
Practices were working pretty well during the week, and look at him take the win here.
What's crazy, Josh?
As we'll await that official time, but welcome back to the track, Tyreek Hill.
And then here he is last year, Fan Control Football at the Quavo Day, when he almost kills Jacob Montez right there. And there you go. That was.
I'm not only trying to play in NFL, I'm trying to play in the FCCL also.
He doesn't know the name of our league, but
it's okay.
It's funny, you know.
What's not fair is that was 60 meters. So now put him on a Olympic track. He's ghosting everybody. Nobody's catching up to him. Like this is, it's not fair.
It's not. It's not. I would like to see him try and be the first ever NFL Olympian at the same time. I want that.
Well, that's what I want for his career. I want him to transition into becoming a professional track and field. I would love it.
I like that too.
Yeah.
All right. We've talked. We've mentioned it. We've nudged at it. What is Aaron Rodgers trolling us? Is Aaron Rodgers just straight up?
He's most of the time I feel like this only happens when the athlete has some clout to do this. We dealt with this with LeBron and he's going to go back to Cleveland, or what is he going to do? Or, he's about to go to LA. The thing that pisses me off about this is, again, he hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2010.
Yeah.
And he's had great MVP performances in between then. But we've also seen him fumble the NFC Championship back to back. He really hasn't accomplished much, and he just caused a lot of drama. And we're covering this.
Yes.
I wish media would just boycott him.
I'm telling you, everywhere you go, I just see tweets. The Jets, the Raiders, the Dolphins, anywhere and everywhere. Would you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that media scrutiny with Aaron Rodgers on my team. I want Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's sort of like dating a woman that hates you. That's gorgeous. She loves you. She hates you though. And you're together, but she's gorgeous. And you're nothing you can do. Every morning you wake up, you're like, this woman hates me, but loves me. And I don't know what to do. I'm not talking about my wife. I love my wife. She loves me. I'm saying I have been with women that they hated me. They were gorgeous. So I stuck around like an idiot.
That's a good, is Jay Spacey says he's making every move Favre made except for suing Pat McAfee so far.
He and Pat McAfee are like, the Favre thing.
The thing that's going to really anger me, and I did this when I created the NFL Europe voiceover video, and I said there was 4 teams in the NFL I want to send over there. It's the Packers. They're a part of the 4 because they're doing the 51st dates thing that I told y'all about. And we're going to end up with all this about Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson or where they're going to go just for them to land where they already are. It's going to piss us all off. So, yeah, no.
And you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. Woosa.
That's called growth, Josh.
Yeah. All right. I have not watched one inning besides highlights of the World Baseball Classic. Leighton, I know what's happening.
Half an inning yesterday.
Adam, baby, let's go.
What, the Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic?
Okay.
Was that the game? And that's only because there's 2 Braves players, Eddie Rosario and Ronald Acuna, were playing in the game, and they both had amazing hits. Other than that, U.S. lost to Mexico, which I kind of saw coming.
Yeah.
You should go watch the earlier games though. That Australia versus, was it Taiwan? It was one of them. But Australia almost fumbled the bag. They had an 8-1 lead and almost lost that game. It ended 8-7.
Classic Australian baseball. If you are a fan of Australian baseball, you know historically this is what Australia does. If you go back to, no, I don't know anything. Are you kidding me?
I thought you were about to add their accent to this. I was like, come on, do it. It's coming.
These inspired us, mate. You hit the plate, and you hit the ball, right? And like the shortstop should get it, and then he doesn't. And
it's not cricket. Okay.
I'm telling you, Leighton, I'm in on cricket. I'm
you know
in on cricket.
Get in on Australian football. Look it up.
The Aussie rules football.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
here's what I'm definitely in on, and this is where I want to end with the World Baseball Classic. A man by the name, and I'm going to butcher the first name, but I think it's Andre, but it's spelled Ondrej. Andre Satoria of the Czech Republic is an electrician as his day job. Struck out Shohei Ohtani.
Oh my gosh! Did you see Ohtani's 100-mile-per-hour pitch the other day?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
He's a freak, and I'm not. I just think that if you are a dreamer out there,
yes, but no, great comparison. This is like the guy who showed up to, I think, the Crew League or one of those leagues and had to guard LeBron. He worked at Best Buy, and when he got off work, he had to show up, and it's like your team was like, "Hey man, welcome to the game. You're guarding LeBron today." You're like, "Who?" Yeah, you're guarding LeBron.
Yeah,
it's just the opposite happened in this case.
They used to have the men's intramural basketball team practice against the women's Tennessee basketball team. Like they would bring in the guys' teams. Yeah, that was Pat Summitt would do that. And I think Gino Auriemma did it too, where he would bring on the guys that were either the reserves or the best intramural players. They would try out to be the practice team to practice against the women's Tennessee basketball team. Kind of cool. Pat Summitt's son actually played on that team that played against the women in practice every day.
Oh, wow.
Freddie Airmail with a solid joke. Sounds like Ohani's short-circuited. Boom. Shakalaka. Well done. Hey, losing to the electrician. We got to get that electrician as a what, Leighton? A Zappers fan.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Okay. Finally, before I go into some old man trivia for Leighton, did you know that the Padres, again, I don't follow baseball a ton. I love baseball.
I only follow
going to baseball game. I only follow the Braves. I watch my Pirates perennially just break my heart. But I do know I like just following the baseball season. Ethan Salas plays for the San Diego Padres in spring training. The kid is 16, Leighton. He's 16 years old.
What I wanted to provide this show was to show y'all what I was doing at 16. Have a cool picture of me in my football pads at high school, and I look like Rudy. I'll just be honest with you. I wanted to have it. I couldn't find the picture,
but I would have showed you in my high school Speedo as a swimmer.
Yeah,
you don't want that? Okay.
No. Wait. Were you hairy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
You had to shave it all off at the end of the season. It would take me hours to shave my whole.
Who did you do the wax?
Yeah. The scouting report as me as a 16-year-old, kind of immature, wrecked his dad's car, not getting great grades, doing okay at swimming, girlfriend that hates him. I'm not getting drafted to the Padres. That much late.
I told y'all on the Fan Control show that in Atlanta, our sports radio had fans call in and create their own scouting reports.
Okay.
So yeah, we should let our fans do the same thing. What is
please
your scouting report?
We need some good fan scouting reports of me and Leighton. Put it in the chat. Let's see let's see what we can get. Okay.
Extraordinarily handsome. 5'7". Lives at his mother's house.
The pride of Riverdale.
Right.
Yeah. Not on the CW.
Not at all.
Other Riverdale.
No athletic experience.
You're just the dad. You're the guy in Rudy.
And again, that HufflePuff video I watched, they compared HufflePuff to Rudy, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh man,
oh man. All right, well let's try to get Leighton less Rudy and some money. When you, the fans, tomorrow live on Instagram will be picking Leighton's bracket. tune in, check out all of our social media at Fan Controlled, at FCFL on Instagram. That hopefully will be changing soon. Fan Controlled across all social medias. Leighton is going to be having you, the fans, pick his bracket, and then we're entering it into ESPN, Yahoo, to see where he stacks up. You stack, they stack, we all stack. Shack attack. There we go. All right. Finally, Leighton, how old are you?
27.
God, man. To go back to 27 before my knees started hurting and I look like this guy. Look, he's either has a cane or it's a golf club. Either way, you can use it.
Josh, I'll be honest. I Googled you the other day and your pictures when you had hair. You know what? Yeah. Good job. Young bachelor. Okay.
I was in the, like the final 50 of The Bachelor before they cut it down to a 25 when I was single.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My buddy got me.
Ray is probably going to try to find the episode.
I wasn't actually in The Bachelor. I was like, before they cut it down for the people that made the show, I was at like the final odd, and I didn't even want to do it. My buddy was a producer on the show. He was like, you'd be perfect at this. Let me get you in. And I was like, all right. I went in the interview, crushed, obviously. And then,
Nice.
Didn't make it. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Although having some of that Bachelor money now, I think.
Oh, it would kick in well.
Yeah. I'd probably.
And you could do like live reviews of the show. Like you could build your own empire around it.
Yeah, my parents would be very disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I'm on TV just making out with girls for money.
I mean, that's the American dream,
basically
right?
what
our parents.
Freddie Airmail says, Freddie Airmail sounds like my therapist. You wouldn't have realized your full potential on there.
Thank you, Freddie.
Thanks, Freddie. Yeah. I don't think my wife would have married me if I was on The Bachelor. I'll tell you that much. I don't think she would have liked that.
Okay.
So, Leighton, are you saying me with hair is more attractive than me without hair?
Is this like a first date kind of question? Like, yes, Josh. Yeah, you.
Everybody chime in.
And you had like no facial hairs, like
no facial hair.
You've aged well overall. Like the transition is actually good. So
thank you. Macuga's Den is greater than The Bachelor. It's all about ownership. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate that. All right, here's just a quick old man trivia. Here we go. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On what channel did Beavis and Butthead first air?
Beavis and Butthead?
Do you not know Beavis and Butthead?
No, I'm trying to think. It's got to be VH1.
Oh, very close. We're looking for MTV.
So it wasn't. God dang it.
MTV. Don't give the answer to Leighton, guys. Okay, this might not be old for you but this is. There's always going to be one of these thrown in there. What brand of car did Mike Lowry drive in Bad Boys 2? Bad Boys 2.
I should know this, but I don't. Was it like a Lincoln?
A Lincoln? No.
Was it one of those big trucks? Like or was it an Escalade?
It was a Ferrari. He drove a Ferrari in Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 1. I'll quiz you next
Volvo.
Volvo. All right. What sport did Jennifer Capriati play?
Who is that?
She was huge when I was a kid. She was like Ethan Salas. She was 16 and winning major events in this sport, or competing in it. Are you looking at the chat? If you're looking,
I'm not actually. I'm looking you in the eye right now. Like we're building tension here. Tennis?
You are correct. Give him the points. Tennis. She flailed out. Her dad was one of those like crazy tennis dads, and I think like she got into drugs or something. I think she's doing okay now, but she was very good at tennis. All right, next question. Andre Ware won the Heisman playing quarterback at what college?
Florida State.
No.
University of Houston.
Good. Freddie Airmail says show name Crazy Tennis Dads. All right. Final question. In 1995, Forrest Gump won the Best Picture in the Oscars. Have you seen this movie?
Yes, because there's the infamous scene where he's the running back for Alabama. Keeps going.
Yeah. Run, Forrest, run. He's the punt returner. Okay. Yeah. The other four movies it was up against: Four Weddings and a Funeral, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Shawshank Redemption. Which ones have you seen?
Name them again real quick.
Four Weddings and a Funeral, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, Quiz Show.
I've seen some of Pulp Fiction. I'll admit it, I haven't finished the movie. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, Ruthless Cutie says that's not trivia. That's just a question. Yeah, I know that. I'm gonna do these like a final question. This is just old guy question. Did you ever own a Nokia cell phone?
Yes, I did. Because I had Yahoo Instant Messenger on it.
Yes.
It was prepaid.
I had to Google today. Does Nokia still make cell phones? Apparently they do.
They just had a rebrand.
Yeah.
And
they don't compete in the Samsung Apple market. They compete in the lower level market. So I'm like, so drug dealers? Like you just basically
they're like, the black
burners.
Cool, got it.
Burners.
But are the new ones like bricks, like the originals? Like,
oh, I wish. God, I had that.
I feel like the two strongest things ever created were Volvos and Nokia phones. Like,
and I think they're both made in the same country, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're both Swedish.
I was thinking German.
Yeah, well, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Don't tell Swedish people we said that.
Yeah.
All right, that is our first episode of Back to Work.
Woo-woo.
Here on Mondays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Josh Macuga, Leighton Batiste. We will be back next Monday. Thank you to everybody who joined in. Thank you to all the fans. Tomorrow, tomorrow Info Arcade. Wednesday, Don't Cause a Ruckus. Thursday, Fan Controlled Show. All your favorite Fan Controlled podcasts, Fan Controlled Fandom, Freddy's Stat Go. All of these are in podcast form, wherever podcasts, YouTube, social medias, all of it, content everywhere. You can see us. And if you have any topics you want Leighton and I to get into, from sports and entertainment to anything else, hit us up on the Discord, hit us up on social media, or just throw it in the chat and we'll get to it. Leighton, thanks. Or tweet at us. And remember, tomorrow, live on Instagram.
Build my bracket.
Build Leighton's bracket. Leighton, thanks for being here, bud. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Let's get back to work.
Back to work. See you, bud.
The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control.